Ladies and gentlemen, settlers of all things Catan, welcome to the Settlers series, a live talk show that covers all things TSS, Catan, and board games in general. I am your host, DJZ5, alongside the master of monopolies, Vamos Cosmos 719. It's March 23rd, Season 1, Episode 3. Vamos, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Today was especially good. I'm showing a repeat of one of DJ's favorite highlights from last night.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to. We already had a rough season. I already lost to Hawkeye's Iowa team, and now I had to lose to. You're just rubbing it in, man. It was a rough game.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, it's not great to celebrate an NIT Final Four, but St. Bonaventure's going to NIT Final Four, baby.
Yeah, no, I had to be happy. I'm wearing my LA hat. I'm wearing my Rams Super Bowl champion shirt today. I gotta get some good vibes going, to make up for all
shirt.
that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not just a gray shirt. I have multiple gray shirts, even though I almost always wear a gray shirt. But how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. I had a great stream last night of a crazy Settlers League game last night. That was probably one of the wildest games I've watched. Which involved, unfortunately, Sparrow and Sparrow, Gil, and Rayman. It was one of the craziest games, one crazy end games that I've seen. But yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And also, like Big Swimmers mentioned, New York Catan, New York National Qualifier this weekend.
Yeah, no, it's a busy time of Catan. I guess we'll be able to talk about that next week. The big New York Catan regional, the one that everybody talks about.
Yes.
But yeah, man, it's been a week. We've had over 20 games so far in the Settlers League, and it's going strong. We're on our way to, I think it's going to be near 100 games we'll play, because 17 a week. No, we'll play like 50 games in the tournament. No, wait, my numbers are crazy. We're going to play a lot of games. I know.
It's about 70, 80, yeah.
80 games, dude. Man.
Math is hard at times. Math is hard.
I'm just, a championship weekend. I know we're only in week 2, but championship weekend. We got 3 semifinals and a final all in one weekend. It is going to be absolute madness, I feel like.
And we see some crazy stuff happen these first 2 weeks.
We have seen some absolutely crazy stuff, man. And I guess we'll start this show like we do with every other show. We'll start with scenes of the past week.
Tales of the past week.
Oh yeah, tales of the past week.
You're confusing.
Well, before we get to all the Settlers Leagues action we want to talk about, the Catan community, they did another tournament, one every single weekend. This time they did Seafarers, and Ganji got a win on Fog Islands, taking home the crown. Boiled Egg, Winters, Meowdy were also all finalists. So congrats to Ganji and everybody who made the finals and everyone who participated.
Yeah, so they played like in all the different maps, like New Islands. What's the other for Seafarers?
Through the Desert?
I believe so. But yeah, so they had to play for all the maps, and Gandhi managed to go through all those maps and win the Seafarers Open Tournament.
Now, if I remember correctly, Vamos, your first championship that you grabbed was a Seafarers League, wasn't it?
It was. After, 9, 10, I lost count, but like after 9, 10 finals, I finally won Catan Championship for a KLC Seafarers season. Unfortunately, they don't do this anymore, but...
Yeah. Seafarers has really, found a place in my heart in Catan. It was the third expansion I really grew towards, but I like it more and more the more I play it.
Like they're making sheep more valuable with ships too. I mean, I loved it because I won money with it, but it's definitely a cool variant of Catan.
All right. I still got a little bit more around the Catan scene. The King of Catan Season 36 base final is happening this weekend. I haven't been keeping so much track.
I'm not sure, but it's happening soon, and we got some TSL players. Is it Mungari actually?
Yeah, they're all in TSL. Wait, we should just schedule. We should just count this for TSL.
We should just count this as TSL. But Necton was the #1 seed. He destroyed everybody this season. He scored 50 more points. He was the #1 seed. So yeah, Amek bought to the finals. But then Mungari's Sushan and Asen all had to go through playoffs to make it to the final, and like I said, this could be a good final as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I can't believe it's all in the Settlers League. That's really cool.
I mean, it shows how good the Settlers League is. So, quick question: who's your pick in this final?
Oh, who's my pick in the final? Ooh. Man, I know I should say Asen, but I'm gonna say Sushant.
You know what? I know I should say Asen, but I'm just going Nectin. Let's go Nectin.
Hey, he won today, man. Anything
He
can happen.
did. Anything can happen in
Anything
5
can
weeks.
happen.
Anything can happen in 5 weeks.
I will say, Asen is somebody that is really. He's been playing for a while and he's had a lot of success, and I know he also does well in in-person tournaments. But I think that this is sort of the month and the streak where he starts to really get noticed. He wins the Premier League. He wins his first game in the Settlers League. I think this is where it really starts to put him in the spotlight that maybe he's deserved and hasn't gotten yet.
Yeah, I think the PL win has finally gives him the credit he deserves. He's been playing well in King Catan. I think he plays there exclusively. But yeah, he's been playing really well in that server, and the PL has kind of been like the peak of his Catan competitive career.
Yeah. And I will say before we get to the Settlers League itself, thanks ComX for modding in the chat, adding that NYC Catan link. So if you are in the New York area, the biggest and most competitive regional qualifier is this weekend. So go and check out all that. Big Red Swimmer is running it, and he's playing absolutely amazing Catan as well. So it'd be a good time.
One game TSL. So as you see.
Yeah. Speaking of TSL, week 1 is in the books. I cannot believe it. 17 games in under 7 days.
Yes.
17 crazy games. Only 2 subs, I think, which is also awesome that 66 of the 68 players were available to play. Or 65. It's just, oh, man.
That's a lot better percentage than one other big tournament, I would say.
Yeah, so just amazing. A big thank you to all the players for making time in their schedules, playing with people from around the world. These are the standings after week 1. These don't really mean that much because we have 5 qualifying games. But any big games or results or people you want to give a shout out to from week 1?
Well, let's see. I mean, winning your first game is very important, I'd say. I think the big game that everyone was watching was Nordic. She won a big matchup against Griffin, Delight, Hawker. People didn't perceive her as one of the big guns, but she pulled out. She got a pull in the end when she got a trade from Delight, so definitely give a shout for her too. But everybody who got a first win, my man Steve Buddha, Puzzles. Let's say chop up. I guess I'm gonna go down the line. Big Red Swimmer, Brom, E-Box, Traveling, Real Quake, Dito, Rudix, Ace and Striff, Julio, Kumatara, Rayman, Kozo. Yeah, like I said, big. Like I said, starting off with a win gives you a much easier path for a top 13 spot.
Yeah. I do want to just give a quick shout out to. Sorry, I got to do a little audio fix here while we're on it. I want to make sure that they hear your lovely voice, so I'm gonna make you a little bit louder here. All right, that should be better.
Okay.
My one shout out, Nordic was a great one. My one, and it's actually 2, is first Hakuna Matata. The man wins a regional qualifier. He is also with week 2 has 2 wins in the book. So he's 2-0 to start, which is right where I expected him to be as my fantasy team captain. But, it's good to see him doing big things. And then also the other person in the 2-win club right now is Brumanon, one of the last people to register, someone who we haven't seen much but has had success in Catan community in the past. And 2 big wins, and I think really well-played games, especially this week 2 game with a coastal second placement, still slowly grinding for road, and it sort of saw, hey, if this game lasts another X amount of orbits, I'm gonna win it, and it did, and they won it. Yeah, it was just really cool to see.
Yeah, and he also played me and Davbav, shout out to him for streaming our TSL games. I streamed this week 1 game where people questioned the wood plow, but also I think, like I said, he was able to get not plowed and get some really good settlements where he actually got road in the end. So, like I said, 2-0 start, very good for Broom.
Yeah, and we'll just take a look at the upcoming week 2 matches here real quick. Some of these have already happened. Some of them are still to come. We actually had, I think, 5 today, and I think there's another one starting in about 15 minutes or so. But,
yes.
And there's gonna be another one tonight. Anything you're looking forward to, or anything from week 2 so far that's caught your eye?
I think from this week, please check out my stream of Table 12 of Gillian, DJ, Porpor, Rayman, and Sparrowhawk. Like I told you, one was the same Catan games I ever streamed, so please check that out. In terms of upcoming matches, like we have tonight, table 17, we have Striff, Poetry Lotion, Hippo, and Griffin. That's coming up.
No,
I
that
think
one was already
that
played
one.
actually. Poetry won that. The one with Logan
Oh,
in it is
you. Okay,
coming up soon.
gotcha. Yes.
Table
Okay.
16.
Yes. Table 16. Okay, so that one's coming up. I'm gonna highlight probably table 14. That got some big hitters with Glance, Delighted, Cool KP, and Sarp. I mean, all accomplished players
Yeah, I feel
in
like
that
whenever
table.
Delighted's on a table, it catches your eye, and then to have him paired with Hawkeye week 1 and Cool KP week 2,
KP.
it's kind of and Sarp who beat him in a semifinal for the Premier League a while back. So, it just sort of catches your eye as a big Saturday headliner, 7 p.m. UTC.
And Glance, who is a Catan community champion as well.
Oh, well, damn, it's gonna be a
Yes,
good
this
one.
is a pretty stacked matchup.
Yeah,
Probably one more table I'll feature. Table 13 as well is a pretty damn good one. Could be feisty with Steve Buddha, Bucksauce, Swimmy, and Asen. We got PL participant, PL champ. Also a little New York City preview with Bucksauce and Stevie Buddha as well.
yeah, no, that's a really good matchup. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it work on Friday, but I'm thinking about streaming it. I'm tr-
Well,
it looks like a really good one, and I know Stevie wants to get streamed. So,
Stevie feels left out.
hey, you know what? If you make the playoffs, I'm gonna stream the game. So you make the top 13, you'll get a game. You'll get your limelight.
Yeah. Also, if you want to have drinks with Stevie, you could come Saturday night. We're gonna have drinks with Stevie after the tournament or Sunday. I don't know.
That sounds like a stream in itself. That sounds like a fundraiser, like drinks with Stevie.
Drinks with Stevie. Let's talk about that.
Hey, this is actually a perfect segue. David George Live, thank you for the raid. Appreciate everyone who's over here watching now. But I do want to say the community support and the hype that has happened building up to the Settlers League was incredible. And then week 1, it seemed like it escalated from that. I want to thank all the players, all the viewers who came in and tuned in, and also everyone that helped stream. And so the entire Settlers series team for making all those games available on Colonists for people to watch. Everybody who jumped in the voice chat. But also... specifically Shin for streaming a bunch of games, Aika for crushing it as a co-commentator. I'm so happy she got into the booth. Donnie doing the viewers lounge, Vamos, you with Donnie, and then David himself, David George Live or Davbab for streaming a boatload of games as well. Sorry, I might have just stolen your thunder on that. I apologize if I did, but
Oh, it's okay.
we gotta show some streamer love out there, don't we?
Exactly. Yes, that's the whole point. Not.
Yeah,
So-
you got to commentate and stream. Do you have one that you prefer more than the other? Do you rather call the shots, or would you rather like just, hey, I'm just gonna log in and talk?
Well, logging to talk is easier, but I don't know. I think I like streaming more, but I don't mind either. So, but I think I like streaming a little bit more, but I don't mind either.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then I think the last thing to note is a little bit of controversy. It feels like we can't go 4 days in the Settlers League without some controversy going on. The first thing we had, not really controversial, but Delighted made a trade at the end of the game. It allowed Nordic to pull. She got a VP and won it. Had she not and Delighted not rolled a 7, he probably would have won the game. So that was a crazy trade. And then the other one I'll leave you with is in Alex or Ion had the win in hand, but said earlier, I won't take road this game, and didn't take road and wound up losing with 8 points, I believe. So that got a little crazy. That was how Kozo won his game, was it went a couple more orbits because Ion was like, I'm not taking road. I said I wouldn't.
So let me go back to the first situation with Nordic and Delighted. I always envision in my head, like, if I have like a 100% chance of my turn to trade, but if I have to trade somebody a chance to get a pull, a dev card for that to happen, I would probably take it if it increased my odds. Like, that's what I imagine what Delighted fought is like, give Nordic a pull chance, but do this trade to take road. It's just unfortunate Nordic took road, so it's a little bit playing with fire, but it might have been like, oh, I'm increasing my chances. Just I hope Nordic doesn't get the pull.
Yeah.
So
I've made deals and I've offered deals. I said, hey, listen, I'm on 9. You know that. I know that you have the win if you don't roll X, Y, and Z. I will take you under 7 and give you the win if you let me pull here for the win. And it's an interesting trade when you say, hey, let's make it about this pull to determine the game.
And if it increases your chances, like, you probably do the math beforehand, like you have to vision it, but if it increases your chances, why not risk that? So, the Iron Alex situation, that's up for debate.
Yeah, I mean, the value of non-binding deals, right? The rules say so that you can say whatever you want. You do not have to follow through with anything that Colonist does not execute. If you can make the move in Colonist, it is legal in the Settlers League.
Yeah.
But Alex said, hey, no, I said I wouldn't take road. That's how I got some deals earlier in the game, and he had the win in hand and was like, I'm not taking road. I'm not winning this game like that.
And people question, does Alex want to win the game? Is that the point too? But some people appreciate Alex like holding up to his deal too. So it's actually kind of interesting how people I think were like half and half in terms of like, oh, why didn't he go for the win versus he's holding up his end. I respect that. So.
Yeah. No, I will say that he was still trying to win. He was just trying to win without road, which he had the win in hand, which is weird. But, it's a very unique situation, and he's one of the most creative players, yes. I would say. And so, yeah, he's one of the most creative players, and he wanted to make a creative deal. He said, this gives me the best chance to win, but it did cost him a guaranteed win in his hand at the end of the day. But, it's an interesting choice, and what I really do stand by is that ultimately the meta game of Catan, where deals can happen like this, is determined by the players, and that was the choice he made, and another player might have done other ones, but it's really interesting to see what limits people take Catan to, I will say.
And some people question, do we need to place limits? Like, this is going way too crazy, too.
Yeah.
It really...
It's so tough. It's so tough as a tournament side to say, oh, you can't make that move.
I do wonder, if we start limiting people's creativity, how far can we push Catan?
Yeah.
And how much do you have to put people into a box? It's a tough situation.
No, that's fair. It is tough, right? And
yeah.
But anyways, now that we're already talking about fancy moves and craziness, are you ready for this segment? Are you ready?
I am. I've been prepping for this. I'm a little nervous presenting this.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take you back to our first time repeating this segment. We're taking you back to the drawing board.
Get your drawing boards out, guys.
All right, welcome to the drawing board. This is a segment that we take a little bit more time to deep dive into specific concepts or strategies in Catan. The goal of this is I try to say some smart stuff. Vamos gives you actual knowledge, and you take this and you can go and win more games with it. So the drawing board today, Vamos, the topic that you have really put a great piece together on is advanced trading moves. Obviously, I'm here to talk through it with you, but I do not want to steal your thunder. So you ready to get into this?
Sure, why not? So let's go over advanced trading moves. Some of these are considered illegal in real life. Some of these are legal, but they're all legal within the colonist system too. So what I'm going to go over is probably the most popular one that everybody's talking about: multiple trades amounting to a 0-for-1 trade. And we're also going to talk about assurance and port service as well. So these are interesting because I feel like you don't see as much as you say go a regular in real life game or in servers, but I feel like you see this a lot more in Premier League, and also you see seeing a lot of these in the Settlers League, especially last night in my stream game. You saw a lot of port service as well. So
I will say with the normal timer or slower in these high level games like the Settlers League, the Settlers Series, with these players that have played a lot that are used to voice chat, you do get these creative trades, and I'm excited to dive into these three.
Yes. So let's move on to the slides here. Let's talk about multiple trades.
Yeah.
Mounting for 0-1. So by rule, in the Catan rules, you can't give opponent a free card, a 1-for-0 in a single trade.
Right.
Basically, from what Delia, so thank you Delia for giving some of these tips as well. But this is really the purpose. I feel like is that you can't give somebody with 0 cards,
Yeah.
like any card too.
Yep.
So that's really I feel like the basis of the rules. You can circumvent that rule though by doing a 1-for-0 trade through multiple trades.
Yep.
So what is that? So let's the next slide here.
Yep.
So let's say one player has a sheep and ore in their hand, and player two has free wheat in their hand. So and player two's like thinking like, oh, I need to give like player one death so like they could get army and that stuff. So what play as you see in the diagram, what the player two through trade, what the first trade he does is trade 2 wheat for an ore. So now what player one has, he has now a sheep and 2 wheat, and player two has a wheat and ore now in their hand. Then the next trade, basically, player two trades that ore that he or she got from player one, and then gets the wheat back. So now player one has a dev card in the hand, and player two ends up with now 2 wheat in hand. So that's example for a 1-for-0. Basically, player one ends up with an extra wheat that got from player two.
Yep. You essentially do a 2-for-1 and then a 1-for-1 swapping it. And what it basically happens is you've just given somebody a card and circumvented this. You can't give a card away for free. It's like, oh, but I can do this legal 2-for-1 trade, and then I can do a legal 1-for-1 trade, and that works.
Yes. So this is like probably the most basic example of this too. Interesting thing though, let's go to the next slide.
Yep.
In real life tournaments, this is now considered illegal.
I would even add just this was a more complicated version of this was done in the U.S. National Finals, and it was ruled illegal by the judge at the game. Like they tried to do this move in the U.S. Nationals.
Yes.
And it was said, no, you can't do that.
Hukuna has like a really good video of that whole trade. So check out Hukuna's Mata's YouTube video about that. But yeah, so this is actually posted in Catan Studio Discord. They're saying starting with next season's national championship season, which starts in July, it is considered now illegal in real life. So it's kind of fortunate. I think it's useful at times, like for taking road. We'll get to that later, but it is kind of fortunate too. So if you want to know more about this, like if you want to watch a video about this, let's go to the next slide here.
Yep, we're here.
Delighted has a YouTube video specifically talking about the scenario too. He actually talks about the scenario during the previous Seller series where he did a 2-for-1 with Hawkeye to give Hawkeye a dev card.
Yeah.
And that got everybody riled up. Oh, that's illegal and that stuff and that because it goes against the rule.
I do have my one opinion piece here, and I won't go into it too much, and this is personally what I think, but I really do like players having creativity, but you also have to realize, like, why would somebody give a card away for free, right? Because you have to, both players have to agree to these trades. And so Delighted's situation here in the Settler Series 1, here's what happened. He wanted Hawkeye to win largest army. And this was how he gave him a dev. He also went from 8 cards to 7 cards, which guaranteed that even if he rolled a 7, he would get a city. So he guaranteed himself a city with taking away dice variants, and he fed a knight to somebody he wanted to buy knights. So you could argue that Delighted giving away a free card was actually better for Delighted than Hawkeye. And that's where it gets interesting, right? Like, why? Like, I guess my question is, why can't they make the trade if both players want to do it? So it's a very interesting thought. I know that it's illegal in over the table. I know that the over the table culture isn't really ready or isn't really up to, like, doesn't do this crazy stuff, and I get that. But yeah,
that's a whole different.
It's a whole different debate. But I think asking, well, why would you give away a card for free? This is why. There are reasons why you would do it. There are reasons why you do these crazy moves if you can think about it. And I think Delighted's video of guaranteeing a city and feeding the guy who wants to get army is a great example of that. So check out that video, 100%.
Please. Yes, this is a great video. So let's talk about insurance. You get insurance from cars. We also get insurance from Catan too. So what is actually insurance? So say like say one player, say like myself, I have 8 cards, and like, oh no, like, oh, I don't want 7 out, like, I don't want to lose like 4 cards in my hand if I 7 rolls. Um, what another player could do, say like another could do is like, oh, I could offer assurance to bring down your hand down to 7 or less resource cards. So let's bring up an example for that.
Yep.
So
It's there.
So say I have like 9 cards in my hand, and I have like one more roll to voice. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to lose like half my hand. So the player who currently has the roll, whose current turn it is, can go to that player and said, I can offer assurance to you. So if I say yes to insurance offer, I would have to offer at least 3 of my cards for one to make sure my hand size is to 7 or less.
Right.
Basically, I have to give up some of those cards for one. When it comes to my turn, though, I would expect my opponent to trade me most, if not all of those cards, like back to me. So basically, the whole point of offering insurance and to accept assurance and make sure one person doesn't 7 out.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the basis of that move too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna so the explanation. So insurance is basically paying a little bit to make sure that you don't get hit with the worst case scenario, right? Like that's all insurance in life, and it's the same thing with this. I'm over 7 cards, and it's not my turn, so I give a 3-for-1 to somebody else, and they hold those cards for me so that I don't 7 out. And usually, what happens is you actually wind up getting over a couple of rolls. You wind up if I took if Vamos gave me 3 cards in a 3-for-1. I would give him a 2-for-1 on the way back. So I would pocket a free card for giving the insurance is generally what would happen.
And that's usually why you do insurance.
Right.
You offer something, but it's also kind of like you're hoping you get like the wheat you need for like a settlement or a rare wheat when you're wheatless setup. So that's kind of top of benefit of insurance. But really, the basis of insurance is to make sure you don't 7 out. Too.
Right.
So,
and once again, it's trading. The idea here is both players benefit. One player avoids 7ing out if a 7 rolls. And the other player usually gets a free card off of it, essentially, because they're like, hey, yeah, I'll hold your card, but I'm going to keep one on the way back. Also, if you ever want to, really mess with somebody, you just keep all the cards and just say, nah, fam, I'm getting my city. Thanks for all the ore.
And if you do that, Quran, he'll basically destroy you for the rest of the game.
Yeah. So this move is still legal, I believe, but I guess it'd be up to the judges, but we'll see. It is legal in the Settler series and all its
Yes, it is. And yeah, there's actually an example out there if you want to look at it. So it was evolved TS1 and it was actually play the clip right now. So
I'll play
it evolved E-Box and Delia. So they were actually having discussion where they were. So
does that make sense? So I'll make you under 7, we trade it back, and then you give me a free wood port.
And let's see.
Does that make sense at all?
Now.
So I'm talking over it. So basically, what happens here is
as a
it's
deal
Dylan's
or no deal?
turn, and Dylan says, "Hey, if I hold your cards, EB, then just give me a wood port." Yeah, thank you. My bow tie looks good in this. I looked great in this.
I'm fine to share that. And I'll hold the risk. I don't think someone's gonna help you plow that. But
I'm not talking that.
Yeah.
So no deal, right? So no deal.
No deal.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you have a strong hand, and I think I can save that hand.
But yeah,
sucks.
so EB here was EB was like I said, he did want to get insurance because he felt like, oh, I'm not gonna 7 out. I feel like I'm gonna be fine too. But at the end of it, he ends up 7ing out, and that shows that if he took the insurance, he wouldn't have to discard half his cards.
Yep.
And he actually would have gotten, and Dylan promised he would have got some of the wood back. I think Dylan wanted to do this deal just to use EB as flexibility in a sense.
Yeah, well, he also wanted to use a port service, which is hilarious because that's what we're going to talk about next. But
yes,
he was saying, hey, if I hold these cards for you so you don't 7 out, I just want this in return, right? So you're trading things that aren't just resources. And the idea behind that is maybe our resource trading doesn't work, but I can still find ways that we can benefit each other's game by trading. And that's where we talk about advanced trading tactics and advanced creativity in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, so let's talk about the next thing. Like I said, DJ Prop port service. So this is one I don't see it often, but then watching the Cellar series, like my last game, I was like, oh my god, this is actually could be useful.
I feel like there are like 20 players max that use this, but when they see the chance to use it, they use and abuse.
Yes, I agree. So really, what port is all about is using a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 port. That's a tongue twister. To port a resource cards that will be eventually used for trading card purposes. The resource cards that was ported into the bank can be from your own hand or from another player. So what that really basically is, like, you're using your own resources or someone else's resource that was traded to you to port something, and then you trade it back for the player. So let's bring up an example here. So currently it's my turn, and I have a sheep port with no sheep in my hand. Opponent, like I said, opponent that goes after me needs to take road like ASAP. He needs to get road before this person wins. But only has like a hand of sheep and wood. So I was like, hey, you know what I could do? I said, what? You know what? I have 2 wheat in my hand. I could trade in my hand for 4 sheep. And then what I would do is I'll port the 4 sheep for 2 brick. And then give back the 2 brick for the 2 wheat I gave away before. So that's kind of the use of it. Of one use is like of using one of these advanced trade tactics to give somebody roll. But that's probably like that's a good example of what port service. You're using your own port to produce. It's kind of like, I don't know, what's the best example for it?
It's borrowing somebody's port.
Yeah.
But the hard part about it is, one, so sometimes people do it for you because they want you to do something so that you can stop another player, or they charge an extra card. It's like, hey, you don't have a 3-for-1 port, and you have a lot of wood. I got a wood port though, so if you give me 3 wood, I'll convert the 2 wood for whatever you want. So
yeah,
there's options like that. The only thing to really remember about port services is only the person whose turn it is can use their port. So it's really important to think about.
That's a good thing. Yes, you can't just trade somebody and then they use the port right after. That's right. A little weird. Right. That's a little weird. But yeah, that's a good point, DJ. Basically, whoever's turns it is what port you're gonna be focused on too. So there's actually a great example of it. On my, like I said, I keep mentioning this game, but this game has so much. And this was a great port surfer example too. It's like Gillian was using his port, and Gillian using like his wood port. People giving him wood because they were trying to play around a mono in this game. So Gillian was trying to like port stuff and like try to diversify the resources. The Sparrow, who had 2 monos, they wanted to lessen the effect of the mono, or potentially maybe bait into a less amount of mono, or do a defensive mono too. So like Gillian, so yeah, that's the thing. Gillian was using his wood, and then he poured for like a sheep, and then for ore. But in my mind, he was trying to diversify it to reduce the effect of the mono.
I think it's safer this way.
Yeah. So
it's a very interesting thing to use somebody else's port to lower. It's like, oh, like you could also use it like this. So like it's Gillian's turn, right? It's Orange's turn, and the next person to go has a mono. But a roll just happened where the person who can't go before that mono has a lot of cards, and like, I want to get rid of these cards. I want you to port them away. Like port. So here, take these, port them away, give it back to me. Let me lower my hand size. It's really cool. It's really cool.
It's fun. That's what some.
I don't mind
it's kind of fun.
But
you're basically using somebody's services.
He's gonna mono or
too. So that's what one person. That's what Shiggs told me. Like people use it for fun. So, but yeah, no. I personally had not seen a lot of port service until I've been watching a lot of Sellers League. I'm like, oh wait, this is actually kind of useful. Because you don't really see it as much in like regular base games and like in the real life games. So
yeah, if you want to watch this full game with great commentary from Vamos and Donnie, 2 members of the Settler Series team, with a whole lot of port services, a lot of shenanigans, some crazy plays, playing around monos, port services, you name it, it was in the game. It's on his channel. Go check it out.
Please, thank you, DJ. But yeah, we kind of explained like why these moves are useful for like specific example. But let's go over all the scenarios where it could be used too. So as DJ said, like you want to make sure another player that you want takes a win condition, like largest army, longest road. I feel like longest road is like the most common scenario where you would do this.
Yep.
I believe like it's probably easier because like with largest army, you're risking somebody buying a mono, giving somebody a mono. when you can have it too. So that's kind of the risk for a large army. But I feel like the most common sense, like I remember one time, like me, Stevie, and iFan, who's from Catan movie, we literally put all our cards out on the table, and we were literally trading cards around, like just doing these, looking at our hands to make sure iFan gets road. Yeah. So like, it was like crazy convoluted trades like that, but we had to do it to make sure iFan got road. So
it's madness.
I also think too that people sometimes use these, like offer, especially insurance, like to get like a really good deal for somebody who might not fully understand it or fully realize what happens with a trade. Like I feel like it happens a lot with insurance, where people take insurance, but people say, "Oh, I need an orb back."
That actually happened in the first game of the Settlers League. There was a lot of insurance to make sure that somebody didn't 7 out so that they could take road, but the person who won the game wound up getting these 2-for-1s when they were clearly on 9 points, and nobody ever came back and said, "Oh, by the way, I need those cards back." And so it's just like, okay, yeah, that's a great trade for me. Okay, how can I help?
It's like sometimes people don't realize like what they fully did. I feel like I've been seeing that a good amount of times in the Settlers League too. But it just makes sure take advantage of people too with these trades too.
Yeah.
So the other two ones are playing around Mile, like you saw with the Sparrowhawk game, and also sometimes people do it because it's fun. Horse Raid is kind of fun.
You know me, I love a good fancy play. So
fancy. Put the fancy emote in your chat. Right?
Drop some fancy emotes. I got more emote slots. I got to figure those out. But I think my big takeaway with these 3 moves is think about them and try to like figure out how you're gonna like use these and implement them, and why they are done and how they make sense. Because the more ways that you can find to trade, trading is the best way to reduce variance and increase your win rate in Catan. If you are losing or not winning as many games as you think you should be trading more. And when you can't just trade resources, you need to find more creative ways to find trades. And these are some ways that you can get value, that you can increase your win rate, guarantee better results no matter how the dice roll, by using advanced trading tactics like these.
Yes, but I also will add on to, like, I personally use them very marginally, in a sense, like, I don't try. I guess I'm such very simple compared to, like, say someone like Quran or Rayman. Like I think like I use them in like a little moderate amount, and unless like it's longest road too. Like sometimes like you have to learn like when's the right time. And that comes with experience. Like when's the right time to do it. When you might have to hold back and not do this. So, and that leads to the last tip I have for this. Like, I feel like the only tip that I really have for like using these moves is that make sure you're getting something significant out of any of these advanced trade tactics. Make sure if you're doing insurance trade, make sure you're getting something useful coming back. So like, oh, I'll do insurance, but can I have a wheat coming back, like a rare wheat or something like that?
Yeah.
Or make sure like you're doing 1-for-0. Make sure you're doing like these 1-for-0 trades. Make sure the person you want to get road. Make sure you get that. I feel like that's what any trade you do, but like I feel like, especially there's a times where like I've done insurance just to not 7 out, and that's not really significant enough. That I feel like the other person gets more benefit.
Yeah.
So
I will say that whenever you're doing a trade, the only thing more dangerous than not using advanced trade tactics is using them and not knowing what you're getting out of it. Like trying to be fancy and not understanding what you're trying to get out of it, why you're doing it, or the terms of it is just a recipe for absolute disaster. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't.
Be clear in what you want to do. Understand why you're doing it. Say, what am I getting out of this? Don't just put on your top hat because you think you can.
I think that's probably the 100% true.
Bo-Peng won the U.S. Nationals, and what he said, I do the simple stuff better than anybody else. That's what he said. He said, do the fundamentals right. And I would say we see a lot of fancy plays. Go use these tools, but understand them, build your fundamentals, and then implement them in marginal cases where you can find that unique value that you wouldn't have had before.
I couldn't agree more. That's definitely the perfect thing. And that's how Bo's become one of the legends. Just he's simple, and I don't think he likes insurance deals from talking about that. So, Sorry, my voice ain't hoarse from that. But yeah, I was end off on these slides by saying like if you're looking for like examples for these, DJ's channel has the week 2 game free, and I gave you some timestamp here. But there's a lot of insurance, 2-for-1 trades, port service. Here's some timestamps. Thank you to Comsander for giving these timestamps. Like they're really useful for giving us examples too. But yeah. Check out that game. That has a lot of examples for like all insurance and 2-for-1 support service. So yeah. That's all I have too. But I think that's an interesting discussion about like you mentioning in real life and like these 2-for-1s, and it is. I'm gonna say it's so different in terms of like how accepted it is in terms of like online. Like online, it happens so much more. Like 1-for-0s, because also like. It's allowed, so like people have that sandbox, and 2, I just think it's not. I guess the right word is not picked up as much.
Yeah,
I think that's.
I will say one thing that I'm really happy about this broadcast that we do, this show that we're doing, Vamos, is I don't think anybody talks about these. I really don't think this discussion has really happened. So yeah. I don't really think that these conversations happen, so it's really cool to talk about it in a way of saying, hey, this is how we've used it, this is why we see it, and this is why we're doing the show, so that we can bring up these concepts and not just have to see them over the board, but to introduce them, to let people think about them, to push the game forward.
Yeah, I do think people knowing it more, be more aligned about it, like, I think that kind of pushes the game further. There's like, how can we push competitive time? Can it push it to a good or bad thing? I mean, we'll see how the community comes in terms of like pushing it. But I think in terms of like creating moves that are out of the box. I think that's how games grow too. Anyways, like people thinking out of the box.
Yeah.
So produce good times as well. So
yeah. Well, Vamos, we might actually run on time for once on this show.
A little bit, yeah.
Do you need a break, or are you ready to keep moving?
Let's go for a little break, actually.
A quick minute or 2 break here?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a minute or 2 break, and then we have a new segment for you guys. It is one that I am really excited for. So is Vamos. I'll give you the name of it, and we'll see it on the back end. But coming up after the break, Fancy or Foolish? We judge some of the most creative moves of in the past. Where is this? Where's the break screen? Oh, there it is. All right, we are back. Thanks for taking that quick break with us. Let Vamos catch his voice. Vamos, thanks for...
My voice got coarse there in the end.
Yeah, dude, you are the professor when it comes to these drawing boards. I appreciate you.
Hey, you helped me out too with some of that stuff. So
hey, I just try to add in a few smart things, but you're doing so much of the prep. But here we go. This is something up my alley. Fancy or foolish? We are going to look at some clips that our amazing team has clipped for us, and we're going to look at strategy moves and say, are they fancy and cool, or are they foolish and should not have been done?
There's also some moments too. Also some non-competitive moments too. That
all right.
that
so we're gonna play some of it, and then maybe we'll pause as needed. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. I think this first one's TSL recently. Let's see.
Yes.
3-10, 11, no raise to the 8-3 knives.
Yeah, you raise to the 8-3 or you get 2-9-10. I think I'm still not the biggest fan
so,
of the 6-9.
So this is Orange's second placement here on this board, right?
I think it can maybe
work
out.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I'll still race for that.
Oh, he does it! Yes! I'm so happy. Karan, I'm so happy. He does it.
All right, let's start with the 4-11 is the big thing here. So I think the clear, obvious take here is the 9-4-11. And Calm, maybe you can put in a quick poll here as we wrap up the discussion on fancy or foolish. Let them choose. But I guess the thought here is the 4-11 or port instead of the 9-4-11 or the 9-10-2 probably, or maybe the 8-10. What are your initial thoughts on this placement?
I mean, Shin looked very happy about it. I was looking at Shin, yeah, he looked like so happy. It's like, yes. I mean, he could use the ore port for more. He could do 2 for 1 ore instead of 4 for 1 ore. But I you know what? I like it. I think it's fancy. So yeah, that's. I think like you could think of like 4-11, like that's kind of simple pick, but I think like you could use the ore better.
Yeah. So I guess the thing is, you have a 3-1 port here, right? So if you take the 9-4-11, if you can either get to the 9-10-2 or if you get to the 3-1 port, I think generally the 9-4-11 is better. But if you take the 4-11 here and you can quickly settle or city the 8-5-10, it's probably actually the better play in some weird ways. I don't know.
It's interesting, yeah. I mean, yeah, but you have no wood, so it's probably a hard time to get to the 3-1 port. So
yeah, we got a poll here. Feel free to vote here as it's going on. I don't know. Maybe 8-10's not any better. 9-12 isn't good.
No.
I mean, he won with this, but the 4 also rolled like crazy.
Oh, he probably should have revealed that later, but
oh. Sorry. I guess the one thing you could say is that it allows Black to get the 9-4-11 and the 9-10-2, which is pretty good for them.
I mean, yeah, basically you take out one of the middle spots.
You know what? You know what? I think this is fancy. I really think this is actually fancy. I think looking at the board, he's really the only dev card player. So he just starts with the port instead of having to build to it. It allows him to city quicker. It allows him to buy more devs. I think it's better.
Especially saves up to 10-8-5. Ooh, money. Now the 5 comes to
I mean, he needs one more 4. He needs one more 4, and he has his 2 wheat to get the city. And once he gets the 8-5-10 city, it's really good, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you guys think? Fancy or foolish? Vote. I think people are voting fancy here.
I'm thinking fancy. I really am.
I just voted fancy, but I just.
Are we just agreeing? Are we gonna say what it is, or do we want chat to vote for us?
Well, no. I think chat will vote.
We need chat to vote.
Does that come with a little bit knowing the result, or it's just actually?
I mean, you're giving up 4 points of production, but I think the ore port might be worth it here. Because the 11's not reliable anyway, so like I don't know. And then you don't have to spend your time getting to a port. All right, what one?
Blowing closing.
Chat has spoken. It is fancy, ladies and gentlemen. Striff deemed fancy. Good for him. All right. Oh, that's not right. That's our foolish icon though. Shout out to Ica for these. All right.
Yes.
Clip number 2. Yeah, Combs, I don't know if a 1 minute pull is probably the best move.
Yeah, but if he has a knight
Probably
not playing the knight, there's a big
worth.
mistake, because I don't think he has to protect himself, because no one will block him.
Oh, yeah. So this is also from this week. So the play here is there's a lot of ore on the board, but Cool Duel monos the wood instead with the wood port, and he gets 7 wood.
So keep playing this clip, actually.
I mean, maybe Bucks.
Keep playing this clip.
What? A wood mono
You'll
instead
see
of
some
an
of the
ore mono?
reactions
What?
of some of the people here.
There's the mono, and he's gonna try to go for devs here. Yeah, I don't know.
What's going?
Maybe not the A move here, but I mean, it does take a lot of cards off the hands of Buck's ass. It also takes a lot of cards off the hands of
no?
Yeah. And he's gonna pop some devs with it here. I think he had most of the ore, and I actually don't dislike the wood mono.
Oh, because you say with the wood mono,
he's gonna take road. Is he at 9? Is cool.
Look at you pulling the double negative.
Hold up. We'll do at 9.
No, he's not.
All right.
Look at that face.
So, I think the wood mono's fine, but he takes road here, which I don't know.
You said you liked. You said you didn't dislike it on the clip.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think it depends on what he bought, because he has 2 devs now. He's not getting. Well, I mean, Army's a long way away, but nobody really has any knights played. Oh no, Crate is sitting on knights. I forgot about that. But he buys 2 devs and then he takes road. But Gil here with orange is clearly the road favorite. So I think it depends on what he has. If he has 2 VPs, if he just popped double dev and double VP'd, and he's on 9, then I think so. But I also like the city. I like the city over the double dev. He clearly had a city with the mono. Why is he not citying the 6-5-11 with his wheat port? I don't know.
I think we also was Cool Duel's move fancy, but your reactions, man, I thought Shiz's reaction was hilarious in that video.
Oh, that was a quick poll. That's my bad there. Maybe we should have done 2 minutes on the poll, but we got time.
No, I think
they're saying it was fancy.
They're saying it was fancy.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it's a little foolish. I like the effort, but I think it's a lot of it depends. But
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know how many more polls. Okay.
Sorry.
Yep, I got the polls. It's just gonna be a minute poll. So the big thing we're talking about here is the goon on the board. The goon on the board here.
The wood port goon. Look, just put the poll up and see what the people think.
Is this a good starting placement? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need to talk about this. Why did Sarp, dude, you got to go 8, 4, 3, 8, 5, 10 and do the side by side. It's so good right here. It's so good.
Okay.
I don't like these placements.
Hey, we're talking about the goon here. Let's not take away focus of this.
No, Green didn't go last. Green went 3rd, took the 6, 5, 11. I also think the 5, 9, 10 should have been taken 2nd. So he came back and he took the wood port. I mean, what else are you supposed to take? I guess 6, 11, 12 maybe?
So, chat, put on chat, how many points do you think this guy, Green, got in this game? For who hasn't watched the game, how many points do you think Green got in this game? Yeah, Dragon Knight. Say how much, think how much points he put in this
How
game.
many points?
4. So, as chat spoken, it's foolish.
It's foolish. But he got 8 points. So
he got 8 points in this game.
He got 8 points. And it really just shows how much you can trade. But, like, ugh. Also, I'm sorry. The road should go down. Go get yourself on the 9 ore. Get yourself a 3rd resource. Treat yourself.
He needs the 8 wood.
Treat yourself.
He needs the 8 1. He needs the 8 wood.
Or go 9-12. Why are we not going 9-12?
True. No, Nigel made real crate really happy.
9-12 also works. It all works.
I feel like you should get like 4 points just automatically.
It was 8 points. He got to 8 points in that game.
No. You get like a 4-point bonus if you do 9-12.
Yeah, I would have loved the 9-12. All right. We got a few more clips. We got to keep moving through them.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to play the clip here, and yeah.
This was epic, by the way.
35 seconds here.
Let's see. Well, Sparrow, does he avoid the 7? Waiting, suspense here.
Oh! Oh no, you hate to see it. 7 Grape gonna get tossed out right now. He got.
I love this clip. I love this
Okay,
clip.
so the first question is, he monoed Brick and then 7'd out. So is that what we're doing, the Fancy or Foolish?
No, we're not doing that.
Ladies
Look at Donnie.
Hold up.
Look at Donnie.
Yeah, let me get the poll set up here for a second.
No, I feel bad for Sparrow.
No, we are not talking about Sparrow's mono.
We're
Probably wasn't the best move. But ladies and gentlemen,
look at that. Donnie make a meme.
The fork. Is the fork fancy or foolish? Ladies and gentlemen, that is the question.
Yeah, look at that. So you're wondering, like, when you talk about getting forked, that's the PG way of saying effed or something like that. Like, that's perfect. You said a fork on the table. But why, Donnie? You have a fork on your table. Like, why?
Oh, man. I mean, I think Mal thinks this is fancy. But this is a serious question, you know?
This is a very serious question. Yeah, look at that. He just made a meme for this fork. Oh, I have a fork on my table.
We need to know, is this fancy or is this foolish?
I just realized I have a fork on my table. I have to put fancy now. I have a fork on my table. I do.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Donnie, one of the TSS admin team members. It's fancy. Thank you, everybody. Donnie is fancy. Give him a top hat. We should have worked a top hat in for him.
Yeah, we should have worked a top hat. We kind of.
Oh man.
That this perfect timing. He got forked. He just picked up the fork.
I think we got one more here.
No, we got 2 more actually.
All right. Let's see what this is.
This is.
What's interesting here is that I think.
Oh, third
Oh, Shreddy is what the fuck? What is that? Pulling the last VP out of the deck? Right, it was the last one, right?
Look at that screen by Shin.
Oh my goodness. So what are we saying is fancy or foolish about this one?
Shin scream. Shin scream.
Okay, I'm gonna put up the poll. I'm gonna put up the poll, and then I'm gonna replay the scream here as he pulls the final dev, and it is a VP. All right, so we're gonna play it here for a quick second.
Oh, third
VP! Oh, Shreddy is what the fuck? What is that? Pulling the last VP out of the deck? Right, it was the last one, right?
I just
Pendant one?
I just love that.
It was 100% the last one. Yep.
That is very.
Also, I would like to add, 3DS Max adding a little bit of voice fun in there as well.
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Good friend of mine. Hi, Max. Also, I forgot to give a shout. Thank you for Max, Karan, and Delia for helping out with the slides today. So thank you so much.
Oh my goodness.
But I think people are voting. I think we have a clear.
I thought these were all going to be serious moves. I didn't realize that we had played. I didn't know all these coming in. I was like, I don't know what's. Oh, it's fancy. Give him a top hat.
Give it a top.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
This last clip. This is pretty legendary.
Oh my goodness. This is how I get kicked off of Twitch. But no, I'm just.
This is from the first TSS telecast we've done too. This was the end. And this is what I did as a bonus. Play it, DJ.
Sorry, I'm prepping the poll because once it starts, I'm gonna put it live.
Yeah. Call me, people.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Oh, sorry. Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Make me walk, make me talk, do whatever you
friend, let us do it again. Hit the town, fool around, let's go party.
Perfect.
You can touch.
Oh man.
You can play. If you say, I'm always yours. You can touch. You can play.
She was the MVP
If
for
you
this.
say,
Oh no.
I think this was because we hit $1,000 or something.
It was one of the goals.
I'm saying the Settler Series Invitational is coming back, and we are going to be doing donation goals again. So
Yes.
oh man.
Oh, but look at that. Oh, I thought that was fancy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
I knew they were going to give me the foolish. I knew that.
That's true, but I thought that was great. That was great
Oh
content.
my goodness gracious.
I feel like they'll even, yeah. Well, you tend to download. But yeah, that was our first version of Fancy or Foolish.
Yeah.
That was great.
I will say, you guys, if you're viewing this or you're watching this on YouTube, start saving funny Catan clips because we do want to do a Let's React portion, and we would love to get submissions from y'all. We haven't figured out how to get those yet, but we at some point can be like, hey, if you have clips, send them to here, and we would love to do this.
Yes, that'll be in the future, but that was great. Especially I love revisiting that.
Gracious.
Oh, no. Are you worried about other stuff happening?
No, it's all good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I think that it's also saved on. I think you can look at my Twitch highlights in the channel. I think you can watch the full song.
It's a clip. It's a clip. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's bring it back. Oh man, we always run a little bit over time, but
okay.
You know. Oh, dude. I like how we always end on a fun note. I feel like this is yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, can I say one quick thing? If there is somebody in the chat that is not currently following me, I am at 499 followers, and I would love to hit 500 on stream.
One more. Get one more.
I would love to hit one more follower. If there's another person out there who is not following, I don't know how many people are watching right now, but if there's somebody out there.
Yeah.
Raven, wait, hold up. Let me see. Oh no, I'm still at 499. How did that happen?
That's my fault. Just get one more.
One more? Anybody else out there who isn't already following? You can't unfollow and refollow. It don't work like that.
That doesn't work. So.
Okay, if somebody wants to make an account for like their cat or something, let me know. But
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, Shin's cat or something like that.
Oh boy. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Just to let you know, the Settler series, come and join everything in the Discord. We're posting when all the games go live. There's a lot more games to happen. So yeah, a lot of the Settler series games coming up. I'm gonna try tomorrow or Friday to get this episode and episode 2 up on YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel now, where we're putting these, and we're gonna try to put game replays on as well. So if you go subscribe to that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, episode 1's on YouTube right now.
Yeah. And I'll try to get episode 2 and 3 out. It's not hard. It's been busy. It's been a busy time. But speaking of what's going on, Vamos, what you got going on this upcoming week?
Well, this weekend is the big New York City tournament, as Big Reserve mentioned. It's definitely one of the biggest and toughest national qualifiers out there, I believe. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of great players there. So I'm gonna mention some of the players: Shazzy, Buxus. Bo Peng was in it. Donnie would have been in it too. Stevie Buddha, my boy Stevie Buddha too. We got the Orport brothers. So you got Jake. I'm gonna throw last names, but let's see. I'm trying to think of some. There's so many good players. Let's see, Goldman. Trying to say, Asen's gonna be there too. I gotta mention one. Mark, I'm gonna mention you as well. There's just a lot of great players in the New York City scene, and it's gonna be really tough. I'm gonna be there for both days too. As Dragon Knight mentioned in the video, there's one person that yelled Dana in the live YouTube video. That was actually Stevie Buddha yelling that. It was pretty hilarious too. So, also I get to hope to see the return of El Serpiente. I hope I see that. I'll be so happy if he's back. I'll be so happy if he's there. Just to do. But yeah, it's this weekend. I'm gonna be there for both days. Sign up for both days. And yeah, just have a good time. Playing Catan.
Yeah. Man, what do I got going up? I'm actually not going to be streaming that much. I'm actually going. I got to travel this weekend into next week, so I'm just not going to have my stream set up with me. I'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff for the Settlers League, the schedules, and all that stuff. But my next stream will probably be episode 4, which we're going to push to Thursday because I don't get back until Thursday. To my little comfy setup with the white doors. But I got a lot of projects I want to work on. I want to work on a YouTube channel. I've got a segment I want to do live on stream that I've been meaning to do now for weeks and have not found time. So we'll be broadcasting a lot more games, especially the week 3 matchups. And then I've got a segment that I'll talk about more, I guess, when I'm actually prepared to do it.
You've been wanting to do the YouTube stuff for a while now.
Yeah. YouTube's still going to take a while, but I have an idea for a live segment that's not just playing games, not just commentating games, that I think will be a lot of fun. I think will be good for overall Catan in general. So, I don't want to say too much until I have it ready, but I'll hype it up when I'm ready for it. Yeah, I think just thanks to everybody in chat. I know we got into a little bit of debate over there about legal moves and not, but I'm glad that we at least introduced the concepts. And in the Settler series, you can make any trade basically as long as you don't accept the win on your turn. Which we could probably do a whole segment on that, man.
Yeah, you probably have a whole fancy fluid segment on those type of stuff.
But yeah, Vamos, it's all to you, man. The floor is yours.
So thank you guys for watching too. Hope if you're in New York City, I don't know if there's any Saturday spots available, but hope if you're interested in playing New York City tournament, I think there's only Saturday spots available. Yeah, man, and so just pass the salt. Pass on the salt this time.
Oh, man. I got to give a shout out to UVA basketball for, even though it wasn't the best year, it was a lot of fun to watch them. And it is spring season. College baseball is in full swing, and the Who's are 19-1. College baseball is so hype. I'm so happy it exists.
Ranked number 1 or 2. I know they've been really good.
We're ranked 10th right now, but it's so much. I'm so happy that college baseball is playing, and I'm happy that pros are back so that there is college baseball.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. But also, you say shout out to Virginia basketball. Shout out to St. Bona's NIT championship. Yeah, let's go.
Oh my goodness gracious!
That's the.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about free throws anymore.
That block shot, bam. Yeah, they waving bye to the crowd like that. Oh shoot, shooting.
Oh man.
Beast.
But yeah, yeah, I think that's it. That's episode 3 in the books. I can't believe we've been doing this for 3 episodes already.
Yes, I agree.
And
time flies.
Well done today. The drawing board I think was excellent, and you carried so much of that. So, man, good stuff.
Like I said, thank you, Karan, Dylan, and 3DS Max for helping me out with that notes too. So really appreciate it.
Well, we'll be back. We're going to try to bring a guest on next week. We'll see. We'll announce more about that as we get there. We'll try to put these on YouTube. Until then, we got a lot of Settler Leagues matches. The Settler Show is brought to you by the Settler Series. I want to thank the entire TSS team. I give a special shout out to Shim, Comex, and Donnie for help with the script. As Vamos already said, 3DS, Delighted, and Karan for helping out with the content as well. I want to thank Comex and Coda Bear as my stream moderators. I want to thank Austin for cutting the introduction music as well as all of his help with the TSS team. I want to thank Vamos as the co-host, Aika for the logo and the fancy and foolish images, Loaf for all the stream graphics. Well done to all of them, and we couldn't do this
thanks
without
Colin
them.
for the special shout out for Colin for all those timestamps on for the game. So,
well, until next time, I'm DJ Z5, and whether it's on the island or in your life, remember to do no harm, do good, do better, and until next time, keep settling. We'll see you guys soon.